So the rules of the debate are pretty simple. There is some room for you to make a few choices, but not much. Everybody gets an opening statement. Everybody gets at least 2 questions with 60 seconds to answer, and it's up to you whether you want to offer someone a rebuttal.
We had something different in mind.
What'd you have in mind?
Adam, how many hours did you and I spend talking about how flawed the debates were? Especially the primary debates.
A lot of hours.
Well, now you and I are in a position to do something about that. Follow me. The questions have to be tougher. They have to be able to square their campaign rhetoric with facts. They have to be stopped when they're not answering the question, and they have to be called out when their answers contradict the facts.
Guys, get in place.
Our job is to find the 2 candidates who'll give the voters the best competing arguments, and I don't believe we're seeing that. We have to put the candidates on a witness stand.
Would you have them swear an oath?
Just let him do it.
If baseball players testifying about steroids in front of a House subcommittee are subject to perjury, I don't know why presidential candidates aren't. But I'm not reaching for the stars. I'm reaching just an inch higher.
Welcome to Princeton University in Princeton, New Jersey for the 5th debate in the 2012 Republican primary race, co-sponsored by Atlanta's Cable News and the Republican Party of New Jersey.
At which point, we'll explain the rules, which is there are no rules. I question a candidate until I'm done. They can each make an opening statement.
Beginning with you, Congresswoman Bachmann.
Hi, my name is Michelle Bachmann. I'm a former federal tax litigation attorney, the owner of a successful company, and also a member...
Hang on. Is that supposed to be a Michelle Bachmann impersonation?
No. Nobody's doing impressions. This isn't an SNL sketch. These people have spent 2 months studying stump speeches, interviews, on-the-record statements, previous debate performances in order to come as close as possible to answering our questions the way the candidates would. After the opening statements, we'd move to questioning. Senator Santorum, you've said that your campaign is about freedom, and that 20 years from now, you don't want to be telling your grandchildren how America once was free. Name 3 freedoms you had the day before President Obama was sworn in that you don't have now.
Obamacare, to begin with. Obamacare is the most egregious...
Have you had to change doctors?
May I finish?
No, sir. Have you had to change doctors?
No.
Has anyone in your family had to change doctors? Has there been any change at all in health care for you or your family?
I'm talking about Obamacare now.
My question was, name 3 freedoms that you had the day before the president was sworn in that you don't have now. Mr. Speaker, you just said that if you're elected, the price of gas will be $2.50 a gallon. How does the U.S. president control the price of oil? Governor, you've said that as president, you will never apologize for America. This question's in 2 parts. Name an instance in which the president has apologized for America, and can you imagine no instance in which a U.S. president should apologize for America?
Mr. McAvoy, I find it reprehensible that the liberal media would try to pit Republicans against one another, and I, for one, won't stand by while it happens.
This is the Republican primary, Mr. Speaker, and you're running for the nomination. It wasn't my idea to pit you against anyone. It was yours. Congressman Paul, I'd like to discuss the newsletters you wrote and sold starting in the 1990s.
I've already said everything I have to say. I never wrote those letters, and I never even read them.
They had your name on them, they had your signature on them, you made money from them, and in 1996 you defended them to the Dallas Morning News.
I don't like
Stop.
pretending.
Everybody stop. There's no need to go along any further. I see where you're going. Adam,
Listen.
is there some place we can talk privately?
Take my office.
Adam. Look, and I told you, this guy
This guy what?
wasn't on the team.
He's on the team, okay?
Hang on. I want candidates who can answer those questions. And if they know they're going to be held responsible for the nonsense they're shouting on the stump, they'll be forced to stop shouting nonsense.
This guy's lost his mind.
He hasn't.
Adam, this is exactly what we always talked about. This is what we dreamed of. We said we need real campaign reform and a way of letting Americans hear the 2 best competing arguments.
Nobody could stand up to that kind of questioning.
You think that was brutal questioning?
It really wasn't.
And you honestly believe the candidates would submit themselves to this?
They should welcome it.
I don't believe
Any
what I'm
candidate
hearing.
who can handle a cross is going to find himself at the top of the polls in the morning, and we should welcome it because it'll clear out the clown car and give us a serious discussion among serious candidates.
Dr. Carson just referenced the single most important job of the president, the command, the control, and the care of our nuclear forces. And he mentioned the triad. The B-52s are older than I am. The missiles are old. The submarines are aging out. It's an executive order. It's a commander-in-chief decision. What's your priority among our nuclear triad?
Well, first of all, I think we need somebody absolutely that we can trust, who's totally responsible, who really knows what he or she is doing. That is so powerful and so important. And one of the things that I'm frankly most proud of is that In 2003, 2004, I was totally against going into Iraq because you're going to destabilize the Middle East. I called it very strongly, and it was very important. But we have to be extremely vigilant and extremely careful when it comes to nuclear. Nuclear changes the whole ballgame. Frankly, I would have said, get out of Syria, get out. If we didn't have the power of weaponry today, the power is so massive that we can't just leave areas that 50 years ago or 75 years ago, we wouldn't care. It was hand-to-hand combat. The biggest problem this world has today is not President Obama with global warming, which is inconceivable. This is what he's saying. The biggest problem we have today is nuclear proliferation, and having some maniac, having some madman go out and get a nuclear weapon. That's, in my opinion, that is the single biggest problem that our country faces
the
right
three legs of the triad, though, do you have a priority? Because I want to go to Senator Rubio after that and
I
ask
think
him.
to me, nuclear is just the power, the devastation is very important to me.